Hello, so this week's column is about teeth whitening. Now I had it in my head that we could film a video at the teeth whitening clinic, but for health reasons we can't, health and safety reasons we can't. So all that's left for me to do is to try and talk you through what actually happens, which, to be fair, I don't think many people realise. I definitely didn't realise. I had never had my teeth whitened before. The reason I ended up getting my teeth whitened was because when I took over this column, I became aware of my teeth for the first time ever. I'd always looked after my teeth well, and they were in pretty good nick, they're quite healthy, they were relatively white and all of that. But then suddenly I had to see my teeth in close-up in the magazine every Saturday, and it just did my head in. I became really aware of how crooked they were, and I thought about getting veneers and all sorts of stuff, but decided against it. But after lots of chatting away to the dentist, I thought, well, I will get them whitened because that doesn't sound very intrusive, and it makes use of my healthy teeth and doesn't sort of get rid of them and start again. So that's why I did it, but I really didn't know what to expect. I'd heard that it was very painful and so on, but that turned out not to be the case. But I had no idea what actually happened. So the first thing that happens, if you go to a proper dentist for teeth whitening, that's the procedure I'm about to describe to you. If you wander into some beauty parlour on the street that does teeth whitening, anything could happen, frankly. They're not actually supposed to do it. You're meant to be a registered dental health professional, like a registered hygienist or a dentist. But I'm told by the various experts I've spoken to over the past few weeks that lots of salons who offer teeth whitening, they do get fined for doing it, but the fines are so low that it doesn't prohibit them from just going straight back into business. So if you decide to do that, it's your lookout, frankly. I think you should. It's really, really important to see a proper dentist so you get the full treatment and proper advice. So the first thing you should do is get a scale and polish. Just your regular scale and polish costs about £35, and it's only at that point that you can really see what you're dealing with. All the calcium on the back of your teeth is kind of scraped away, and your lots of staining and so on will go at that point, and you may decide that you don't need teeth whitening at all, because lots of things can just be got rid of with a really good scale and polish. So that's what you need to do first before you decide what to do next. And also it's just good to go every 6 months and get that done anyway. After your scale and polish, if you decide you still want to go ahead with the whitening, this is what happens. So they take impressions of your teeth. So if you had a brace when you were younger, you might remember what this was like, but they basically shove a load of clay into your mouth and they make impressions of your teeth. It's lovely impressions there of my crooked teeth. And these impressions are there to make trays, which are these. So the impressions are the plaster bit, and then they make these trays out of them. And these just slot into your mouth. And they're meant to fit perfectly. So that's why they do them. So you get these trays back, it takes a few days. After you've got your trays, they give you some bleach. And the way the bleach works is you take your trays, you keep this bleach in the fridge, and you put a tiny little dot of bleach in the gap of every tooth, a tiny little dot. And once you've got a dot for every tooth, you put the tray back in and you press it against your teeth to make sure your teeth are evenly covered with bleach. Like that. Then you sleep in them, and you do this overnight. You repeat this process overnight for 4 nights consecutively prior to your Zoom whitening, as it's called. So this is called power bleaching, this part of it. And what it does is it starts the lightening process before you have the final bit, which is Zoom whitening. However, it is totally fine to not do this bit and to do it but do it after the Zoom whitening, or it's also totally fine to save the bleach, keep it in the fridge, keep your trays, and top up your teeth whitening later on in a few months, say at Christmas time when you want them whitened up again. It's totally fine. You don't have to do this part, but generally you will get this part as part of the price. I'm just going to keep my bleach in the fridge, and then at Christmas time serve it with turkey. No, at Christmas time, do it for party season and everything and just kind of revive the whiteness. But they do advise you to do it for 4 days before the Zoom whitening. Right, so Zoom whitening, that is the big part of the process. So you attend the dentist, and what they do is they isolate everything but your teeth, because it's really important that the light doesn't shine on your gums, your cheeks and everything, because it gets quite hot. So they put various bits of apparatus in your mouth to keep your mouth open. They cover your gums, they cover the insides of your cheeks with cotton gauze and so on, everything to just make sure that the heat doesn't touch anything but your teeth. Then what they do, once that rigmarole has been done, that takes about half an hour probably, they paint bleach gel onto your teeth, and then they shine a light onto your teeth. There's somebody there the whole time. They shine a light onto your teeth for 15 minutes, which activates the bleach and makes it work. After that 15 minutes, they remove that bleach, they put fresh bleach on, and they shine the light on you again for another 15 minutes. That process takes place 3 times, and you get lighter and lighter each time. What has happened at the beginning of the session is they've gauged the colour of your teeth on a big colour chart of teeth, so you can measure the results. And then at the end of the Zoom whitening, they check the colour again and see how many shades of white you've moved on. In my case, I moved on 5 shades, I think. Some people move more, some people less. It's quite an unpredictable business. But most people should move at least 2 or 3 shades. While the process is actually taking place, I gather that some people find it uncomfortable. I didn't. If the only thing I can think of is my teeth felt a little bit sensitised afterwards, but during the process there was certainly no problem. I actually fell asleep for each of the changeovers. I just had a nap. That's how untraumatic it was. At the end of it, you don't have any swelling, or you don't look terrible the way you do if you've had, say, a filling. You look completely normal, even so far as they put lip balm on your lips to stop your lips sort of stretching when you've got your mouth open. I mean, it's very well done. I went to the Welbeck Clinic though. I mean, I'm sure some people have less attention to detail. So then at the end of it, you gauge your results, and that should only need doing once every 2 or 3 years. You should be able to just keep on top of it about once a year with more trays and bleach, like I showed you earlier. I do think, nobody's going to argue that teeth whitening is a necessity. I mean, maybe to Americans, but not to us. It's not a necessity, but I would say it is a really nice thing to do, and it does make you feel more confident in your smile. I have always said that the things that make us look old aren't necessarily wrinkles and frown lines and so on. It's hair and teeth. If your hair and teeth look young, you will look young or younger. When people have really bad aged teeth, that makes their whole face look old. So if you can keep them looking white and you can keep them looking healthy, then I think that makes more of a difference than any moisturiser ever will. Anyway, if you have any more questions about the process, just ask me them in the comments section and I will try to answer them. Oh, I should mention the whole process costs about 500 quid. Outside of London, maybe 300. Obviously in London rents are higher and so on. But you're talking about 500 quid by and large. But it's once every 3 years or something, so it doesn't seem too extreme to me. Anyway, let me know your questions and I'll try and answer them. Thanks.